going to New York today. We actually are in New York right now. We just crossed into it. First thing we're doing is fabric shopping, but we're here to see a friend and we're going to be staying with her for the whole weekend. If you saw my Ren Fair, like getting dressed at the Ren Fair video, it's the friend who was in that video, so, you know. But we're going fabric shopping. I have a bunch of stuff to get for KatsuCon. I am going to be getting stuff for Raven, Draculaura, and then I have a secret project that I got to get some stuff for, but I'm not allowed to talk about it, so I guess I should stop talking about it. But should I just not say anything about it all?
Yeah, it's so cliche to say secret.
It is a secret project. I asked if I could talk about it, and I said no. For KatsuCon, I need to get stuff for Draculaura and for Raven. My friend Kit, Sunside Dragon, made both of those designs for me. I think she might be posting the Raven one, but the Draculaura one is a little bit of secret, so that'll come later because we're doing stuff together. Yeah, that's mostly what I'm buying, and then, you know, I might impulse purchase some fabric, but hopefully not too much. Yeah. And then I think we're going to Bryant Square Holiday Market later this evening. Yeah. We got a lot of stuff planned. So I found some gray and I think we're gonna use this to like emulate Raven's skin because like it looks like mesh really close up. Like once you get back there, it doesn't look like mesh anymore. You can still kind of see pink through it though. I don't know if that's a problem. It's very wet. We're waiting for Ellie and Ren right now. Charlie went to go see if there's food. I am hungry.
We're taking shelter underneath the waffles.
Under waffles. We got a bunch of fabric. I spent a lot of money, but woo, it's worth it, I guess. But I'll show you guys later.
Have a good day. Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Look at it. What did we get?
Ginger and cream spiced apple cider. To stir or to drink?
I don't know. Probably not to drink it.
It's very thin.
Ren's burrito is apparently like insanely spicy.
Oh no! Too spicy?
It's okay, I'll live.
We can just stir it in.
There you go.
It's the next morning because when we got back to the house after dinner and like being in the rain a bunch, I was just so tired, so I went to sleep pretty much immediately. I tried to edit a little bit and I was like, I can't film a fabric haul. I'm gonna go to bed. So doing the fabric haul now. So the main places that I went were Mood and B&J Fabrics. Those are my favorite places in New York. And I also went to another place and I can't remember what it was called. I'll see if I can find the receipt for it and maybe it'll have the name on there. But that was where I found the like fancy fabric for Raven, so it had nice fabric. So I have done a vlog where I've gone fabric shopping in LA before, and the main difference is, besides the fact that the weather just sucked yesterday and like LA weather never sucks, I find the LA fabric district a lot easier to navigate because everything is all on like the first floor, or if it's on the second floor of a building, it's very easy to find. Whereas a lot of New York's fabric district, you have to know where you're going and like know what you're looking for to be able to find the fabric stores. So like B&J, I'm not sure that I would ever be able to find it if I didn't already know where it was. So that's just something you should know. My bangs are like doing all kinds of weird things. If you're going to the New York fabric district and you're not familiar with it, then you should look up the places that you want to go ahead of time, find the address and figure out if you need to like get in an elevator, because a lot of the lobbies just look like lobbies where people live, so they can be a little bit intimidating. The good thing that I like about the New York fabric district though is that the store owners are a lot more willing to just kind of let you exist and like do whatever. They're not really on you like in LA. In LA they're very like, how can I help you? We need to make a sale. But in New York they're very like, sup, yeah, let me know if you need anything. So I do like that. As someone who's kind of an introvert, that's a lot easier for me. But it does also mean that it's harder to find stuff. And then I also think that LA has a lot more variety. So a lot of the stores in New York carry very similar things. Like really, B&J and Mood, I think, are the ones that aren't specialty stores, that are just like fabric stores that aren't all very similar. So then you've got stuff like High Trimming. I showed one shot from that. And there's like Steinloff Installers, which is like bra making. So that's a very specialty store. So you've got lots of specialty stores in New York, which is a little bit harder to find in LA, but you also don't have as much variety within the fabric stores. Like I feel like the fabric stores in LA, they all have a very wide variety of fabrics, like from each other. Whereas New York, I felt like a lot of the stores that I went into, I was just seeing the same thing over and over. So those are my thoughts on the fabric districts in LA versus New York. I just also personally find LA a little bit less stressful than New York, but that's just me. Let's get started. So the first place I went was B&J's. Oh, let's grab this. The B&J's bag. B&J and Mood give away good bags. So I like that. So I showed while I was in B&J that I was thinking of getting I was thinking of getting a gray mesh for a bodysuit for Raven. I realized that once I put black mesh over the gray mesh, it did that thing where it kind of like frequency separates, I guess. Like when you point a camera at a TV and you see all that banding. I was doing that when I was laying the 2 layers of mesh on top of each other. So decided that was probably not the best choice. Originally, when we had been going through the store, I saw a gray jersey that I liked. It was a wool jersey, so I was like, it's gonna be a little hot. I don't really want to wear a full bodysuit just for like skin tone. But once I realized that the mesh wasn't gonna work out, because my plan for the mesh was to do like leggings, tights kind of thing, and then just build the mesh straight into the bodysuit. Obviously, mesh didn't work. So for the jersey, I think I am going to probably do a full bodysuit. I didn't have the original wool jersey that I pulled off the rack. Oh, that's the other thing. B&J's is like the most well-organized fabric store I have ever seen in my entire life. Like all of their fabric stock is just, they keep a swatch, like a large sample on little filing cards, and you just have to like look through their filing cards rather than having to dig through bolts of fabric. And like I get that some people really like that like tangible feeling of the big bolts of fabric. I don't. I find it a huge pain, and I really enjoy B&J's filing system a lot more because it doesn't feel like I'm having to wrestle my way through a fabric store. Let me show you the fabric. So the jersey that I ended up getting, they didn't have the wool jersey that I was looking for, so they suggested this as a replacement, and this is, what is this? Rayon and Lycra, whereas the other one was Tencel and wool. So I used Tencel because I think Tencel is supposed to be slightly more sustainable, and I like the feeling of wool, but then when I thought about it, I was like, oh, wool is going to be really, really hot under all those layers, and like that's kind of fine for Katsucon because it's in the winter, but if I ever wanted to wear this not at Katsucon, that would be horrible. So this will be a little bit cooler. It's still going to be a little overly warm, but this will be my color for Raven's skin. Weird to say that. So I'm gonna make like a unitard, I guess, probably, and it'll be less wrinkly than this because this is just pulled on over my arm, but that'll be my Raven skin. And then for the mesh of the bodysuit, I got just like a black mesh. So it's just a plain black mesh, and it's a little stretchy, and it's nice, whatever. The mesh was $16 a yard. I think both of them were $16 a yard, actually. Yeah. Yep, both were $15.95 per yard, and I got like 3 or 4 yards of each of them. I got extra because I'm always paranoid that I'm going to run out. Plus, cutting is just so much easier when I don't have to worry about running out. It just takes a lot of stress off of my brain. So that's what I got from B&J. B&J has like freaking everything. They also have really good wool. So if you're looking for suiting, they have amazing wool suiting, and they have like all their fabric is really nice. When you're not just getting like basic stuff like this though, it does add up really quickly. Like a lot of their embroidered fabric, I looked at one and it was like $600 a yard. I was like, maybe not that one. So yeah, spent about $90 at B&J. So as far as a B&J trip goes, that's very little. From Mood, I think did I just get one thing? No, I got 2 things. I got this for Raven's cape. I know this is like thrilling for you guys not having seen the design, but you will see it eventually. This is what I got for Raven's cape. Basically what Kit drew for me is that it's this giant like translucent cape, and I'll throw up the And I'll throw up the inspiration images so you can see it. This whole Raven design was inspired by Terry Mugler and one of his really iconic bodysuits, and then the cape was pulled from a different inspiration. So translucent cape, it's going to have beading or sequins or iridescent stitching through it. I haven't decided yet, just to like create kind of like stripes. That's what I got for this. I think this was $12 a yard. This was like extremely cheap because it's silk chiffon. I was like shocked when I found it. Like, good deal. Black velvet. This is for Draculaura's dress. This is just going to be like for Draculaura's gown. It's a gown. I can't remember how much this one was. Maybe they gave me a receipt. This one was $18 a yard. So this one's polyester, so that's why it's on the cheaper end. I can't afford to buy silk velvet when I need like 4 yards of it. Oh, and then the last thing I got was a long zipper because I don't really tend to keep invisible zippers in my stash because I don't really like using them, but for Draculaura, I do want to use an invisible zipper. So that's what I got. For Mood, overall, I think I spent about $130 at Mood. Mood stresses me out. Like, I far prefer shopping online for Mood because it's just so much more organized to shop on their website, and then I don't have to, like, every time I want to look at something I have to pull the giant bolt out, and usually it's stacked under like 10 other bolts, and I find shopping at Mood just really stressful. So I don't personally enjoy it. B&J, I think, is really the only fabric store in New York that I enjoy shopping at. I do like some of the Notions places, like High Trimming, like I mentioned before. They are mostly like gems, feathers, rhinestone trims. I got some stuff from them, so I'll show you in a second. Do you remember what this store was called that I got most of my Raven fabric in?
Was that Fabric World USA?
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
Okay. Micah thinks it's Fabric World USA. I don't remember, but I'll trust Micah. The Raven design, like I said, it's inspired by Terry Mugler, and it's a bodysuit that has all this like, I'll just throw the picture up. But essentially how I think it's constructed is they did a mesh bodysuit underneath, like a leotard kind of thing, and then it's got a corset over top, and then it's got these attached like garter leggings, garter thigh highs to the bodysuit. So they're not attached. No, they're attached to the corset, I think. I don't know. I'm not actually looking at this. You guys will be looking at this as I explain this. So, So what I was looking for, I didn't want to copy it exactly because it's an inspiration, but I wanted something that was like sequined or gave that kind of glittery effect that the Terry Mugler bodysuit does. But I wanted something that was sequined or glittery looking like the bodysuit is, but I didn't want to have to do all of the work of appliquing it myself. So I was looking for a very specific fabric. So this is what I ended up getting. Oh, I'm gonna make a mess. So when it's just like against something dark, you can't really tell, but it's got this cool design on it. Actually, this might be a good time to see if it looks good over my Raven skin. I wanted stretch specifically because I didn't want to have to deal with like trying to make exact seams on this. I wanted it to be able to like stretch and flex with my body. So it does stretch on like the cross grain. It does not stretch. It stretches a teeny tiny bit on the lengthwise grain. We'll have my skin. Oh yeah, that looks cool. So this is what I was looking for specifically, was something that had a built-in design with sequins. Like, not only that, but I was looking for something that vaguely matched the design that was drawn for Raven. So a lot of them were like too geometric, or like they were too stripy, or they were too floral. This one though, I saw it and I was like, could that be it? Could that work? And I showed Micah and he's like, yeah, I think that looks good. You should use that. And I was like, do I trust you with this? But I do think it looks really good, and I think it looks correct. So I'm very excited. And then finally for Raven, she has a little bit of like lace applique details behind the sequins on her bodysuit. So I just got 1 yard of this stuff. So these are really floral, but the ends up there are not floral. And literally this border is pretty much all I'm going to need. I asked for a ½ yard and they said they only did minimum 1 yard. So I did end up getting a yard, but that's fine. I'll use it for other projects. So I'm really just going to be using this border, and I'm just going to like place it along kind of the neckline area. These were not cheap. This lace was $45 a yard, and then the sequin lace was, I think, $25 a yard. So I got 1.5 yards of the sequin lace, and I got 1 yard of this. So it was like $90 is expensive. And then the last place that I got anything at was High Trimming. So I mentioned that now multiple times in this video. High Trimming is honestly one of my favorite places to just look at stuff in the fabric district in New York. It's just so sparkly and feathers and like lots of cool shit. This is for the Raven costume again. Raven has a bunch of like red gems on her, and like that's true in pretty much any design of Raven. So I got all of these little tiny gems here, and these will just go on like various places, and then one of these will also go on my forehead. So some of these are sew on, some of these are glue on. I normally would care more about consistency, but I didn't want to have to go looking online for these, so I just went with what they had. So these two are sew on. You can tell because they have little holes in them, and then these ones are glue on. So I'll probably just glue all of them on. Maybe I'll sew some of these on as well so it looks like they're sewn on, but too much effort to sew everything in. The last stuff I got was for Draculaura. This is a bunch of like chain stuff. So she's got a bunch of chains or like beaded details like hanging on her shoulders. This is the beaded design that I got, or the beaded chain that I got for her stuff. It's not focusing. So I got 2 yards of this. I got 2 yards of all of this stuff. So this one goes at the bottom of her corset. That's just like a hanging chain. And then this is the last one. This will go with the black one. So those will just hang across my shoulders. This small one was $8 a yard, and both of these, let's see, this one was $16 a yard and this one was $18 a yard, the black one. So that was expensive. The little rhinestones though, those were each like $3 a pack, so that's not too bad. High Trimmings also has a fabric section, but I've actually never gone into it because I've always been more preoccupied with looking at their trims. That's pretty much everything that I need for Raven and for Draculaura. We might be going around there again just to like take another look and not feel like we're damp and like rushed. But we're going to mostly like Lower Manhattan, and then we're going to the Met Museum at some point this weekend. So that's the plan for the rest of the weekend. That's it. That's all I've got. Yeah, I started A Court of Silver Flames, but I'm going to talk to you guys about that later because I didn't bring it with me because that is a hefty book. So my opinions will stay the same for the next few days. So yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. Happy Vlogmas.